Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? Am I audible?
Yes, Vaishnavi, audible.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope everyone is doing great. And thanks for joining in firstly. I'm Vaishnavi, the operations manager at TGHC. So today we will be talking about importance and relevance of for which we have our expert mind health counselor and counseling psychologist Divya Abraham with us, and she would be training us, or she would be talking today all about sleep and those secrets that we should really know about getting a sound sleep, which I think is really important in today's world. Over to you, Divya.
So yes, we'll just dive right in. So now, to start off with, I'm going to ask you, okay, so what happens to you when you don't get a good night's sleep? I think I would start with that, because in some way, I think we will be able to relate with each other in regards to what causes us that distress when we don't sleep. So I want to make this more interactive. So why don't you tell me about what happens when you don't sleep well? You can even put it on chat. That's okay.
Or everybody is free to unmute yourself.
Divya, are you audible? Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
I missed the initial session. I was traveling. So first of all, thank you.
Okay.
I got this link few days back, and I was very much interested to be part of this. And okay, so the answer to the question, the main thing what I am facing right now, yes, I'm not getting sleep, and the main problem out of which is I'm not able to wake up early in the morning, and my job demands me to wake up early in the morning, and it's very difficult, and because of which I'm finding difficult, especially in this time period between 3 to 5 p.m. I'm getting a lot of sleepy feelings, and I'm not able to focus on my work as well. So that is one thing which I am personally facing, and among a lot of other things, this is the main reason to join in this meet. Apart from that, yes, of course, I mean, you have to be active throughout your day, right? If you're working, and these sort of hindrance should not be there while working. So this is the main reason, Divya and team, of course, what I'm facing on a daily basis.
Yeah. No, definitely. I can imagine that, when there is a time that you need to wake up to, like you said, right? Like your job demands that, you need to be up at a certain time. And when that does not happen, like when you start your day with a bit of being unsettled itself can cause a lot of anxiety or a lot of things, right? Um, Thank you so much for sharing that. Anything else, like what happens when you don't sleep well? That was a really good point. That because you need good sleep to kind of be functional and even optimal functionality throughout the day, right?
Yeah. We have so many answers in the chat box. So if you're saying they get migraines or headaches, or others are saying their brain goes alert, or they would be easily annoyed. We would be yawning in the office next day.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I believe that's one very common thing. And then we have a disturbed mind and feel stressed out when missing proper sleep. Or Anuj is saying, get very cranky, have a brain fog, and be tired. Nesh is saying, I feel very inactive the next.
Yeah, and that it just shows that all of these experiences are a reality, right? That we are, these are the harsh effects when we don't sleep well. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for these answers. Again, like what I said, right? Like a lot of us would be able to see that, okay, this is very real. Others are also going through this, in a way, struggling through this. And let's go ahead to see what are some of the what are some of those indicators again of poor sleep. A lot of what you had said, and what exactly defines poor sleep in a way, right? Like, in the sense that the fatigue that you experience, and that sometimes I've heard somebody say that they feel like as if they had ran a marathon or something on the lines of like you have done some physical labor because you feel that exhausted. And somebody had mentioned brain fog, right? Like, and a lot of fatigue. Sometimes you just like it's everything is really foggy and you're not able to see clearly, think clearly, and that can really affect us. Memory concerns, where it is really hard for us to pull out something from our memory, or we're not able to be as sharp as we usually would be if we slept well. It affects our concentration. Paying attention to something becomes sometimes twice or even thrice as harder than it was when we sleep better. And all of this it makes sense that all of this can really affect your productivity. And again, like I said, like we stress ourselves a lot more when we are not functioning as well as we would like to. Yeah. Again, a lot of what the answers that we have received do come under these categories here. So then there's also that, it affects our mood. So here, like we can get very irritable. We can be less patient, more snappy, very cranky. And all of this can sometimes, it comes out in the form of behavior sometimes, right? The way we work, the way we communicate to our colleagues, the way we feel about ourselves, and even we can carry it back home. And also there's a lot of irritability, anxiety can also lead us to feeling really low sometimes. And like we said, it also can definitely affect our relationships. But also one thing is that everybody experiences the lack of sleep in different ways. So what one person, the way they experience the lack of sleep is very different from somebody else's. Yes, we can go to the next slide. So I wanted to talk about poor sleep, and also just wanted to bring up insomnia. So insomnia is again a very common, very relatable sleep problem. And the thing is that this can be really common, and a lot of people might be struggling with it, and it's a frustrating struggle as well. So now it's not just about I'm not able to sleep at night, or I'm not able to sleep as peacefully and easily as I want to. Okay, so it's also about like I have fallen asleep, but it's hard for me to have like a good quality sleep or a deep sleep, because I keep waking up in the middle of the night, on and off, or I wake up and then I can't go back to sleep again in weird hours and stuff. So that's also something that falls like an indicator that there is some sleep disturbance going on. And also when you wake up too early, like you wake up 2 hours before the time that you are supposed to wake up, that's also that also creates a lot of anxiety, right? You look at the time, and you see that I still have time to sleep, I don't feel rested, and it's hard for you to just go back to sleep, and you're just awake in that tiredness. And the last one is like non-restorative sleep. So that's when you have slept through the night, but irrespective of that, you wake up and you feel like you haven't slept at all, and you feel exactly the same way you would even if you didn't sleep. And these things can be confusing. So another highlight is that when we are very preoccupied about our sleep, like we are worried about when it's time to sleep, because we are facing like we are not satisfied with our sleep. And when bedtime comes up, we are getting very distressed and upset or angry, anxious. So that's also like an indicator that, okay, we are facing sleep disturbances, poor sleep. And also note that we have a problem with sleeping. Like, okay, I can understand, like, okay, one day, like you went for travel and you came back and it's hard for you to like get back to sleep, some jet lag, or you have a really important function tomorrow and you're anxious about it. So, or like, your neighbors are really loud one night. So these are like one-off things, right? So I'm not talking about these nights or these events. It is a problem when you are facing it consistently and persistently over quite, at least 3 nights in a week. More often it's happening, and sometimes it can happen suddenly, right? You're not very sure what's going on. So that's when I think we need to be a little more aware that, okay, you know what, I think I need to do something about it. I need to address this. And like an important note, I want everybody to know that it always helps to speak with a medical professional if you think you are having severe lack of sleep. Um, so you can get evaluated with a doctor, and they will refer you to an appropriate professional so you can get the help you need. Because apart from insomnia, there are other sleep disorders that do have like a base in neurology, or like even with your brain. So such as sleep apnea, circadian rhythm disorders, or narcolepsy, etc. So as we are moving on, we are going to the next slide to see again, like, we are going to categorize what are the reasons that keep us up at night. Okay. Yeah, so there are numerous possibilities or numerous reasons that can keep us up. Sometimes it's not just one reason. It can be, unfortunately, a combination as well. Okay, so I know you can see the categories here. I just want, again, like, I want everybody to also kind of reflect or think about maybe what could be one or two things that's probably keeping, that's the reason for your sleepless night. Yeah, you can unmute and speak here, or you can chat as well. Psychological, okay. Thank you for that. Anybody else? Lifestyle factor. Yeah, definitely. And sometimes it can even happen that our lifestyle factors, unhelpful habits, right? They can also push us to have mental health related concerns also. Too much food, okay, environmental too, devices also I saw. Yeah. It definitely matters, like the type of food that we eat as well. Like it's very clear, like, having something like very stimulating like Red Bull, coffee, even alcohol, though we think that it can help people to fall asleep, but it's not good quality sleep that you get. Lifestyle factors again, yes. Stress, yeah, absolutely. Stress sometimes is like a number one culprit here, Yes. You can keep the answers coming in as well. Like we will be looking at it. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, thank you. Thinking of career and future at night. Absolutely. And when we really don't want to think about all these things, it just pours out at night. Yeah. And that definitely comes under, the psychological factors as well. I think a lot of people can relate to this. Yes. Exercise later in the evening. Absolutely. Exercising is great, but just like how you're not advised to have coffee a few hours before you sleep. In fact, several hours before you sleep. But exercise at night can really keep us up as well. It can keep us in a very rushed and alert state, energized. Yeah. Great. So absolutely, everything that I'm seeing in the chat also, all of it like kind of falls under these boxes, and absolutely there could be more as well. This is not an exhaustive list. So, and these little boxes, they also are very interlinked. now without scrolling phone won't be able to get sleep. Yeah, that's it's become like a habit now, right? Like it's your hand just automatically goes through the phone, like you're on autopilot. I can relate to that absolutely. So all of these factors can really affect each other also, like how our lifestyle can affect our psychology. Our environment can also in a way, it becomes a habit and it becomes a part of our lifestyle. Absolutely, and even our medical conditions, if we are going through something, then we make a change in our lifestyle or we have unhealthy habits. All of these are very, very interrelated. Now, like what I saw in a lot of the entries in the chat, like the psychological factors, right? It's about worrying. Worrying is about the future, right? We worry about, okay, what's going to happen? Okay, I'm here right now, and you have no idea what's ahead, right? There are some things that you can be a little certain about, but there's a lot that you don't have the answers to. And anxiety is also about all the what ifs. And when our brain gets active at night, a lot of what ifs come, like it goes like one spiral. And then sometimes we don't have an immediate answer, or like a concrete answer. Maybe it's a decision making thing. If we are going through some kind of conflict with ourselves or others, if you have lost a loved one, relationship problems, etc., all of this can really affect us and comes under this psychological factors box. Yeah. And there's also medical conditions, like if somebody has like they're undergoing chronic pain, if somebody has like an ACL tear, and you are kind of like restricted to the bed, but it's paining as well and you're not able to sleep, that keeps you up, and it takes quite some time to you are going through a medical problem. A lot of scary thoughts also come up, right? Or if somebody is has asthma, heartburn, etc., all of this can also kind of come in the way of your sleep. Lifestyle factors, a lot of you mentioned that as well. What do we do through the day that can contribute to lack of good sleep? Like too much caffeine, smoking just before bedtime, even exercising like a few hours before bedtime, or even for some people, late in the evening. Like there are people who just absolutely restrict coffee consumption. I think after 2 o'clock, because while for some people they could have it 4 or 5 and still be okay to sleep. So I think we need to pay attention to our own reaction to our habits, rather than comparing sometimes. Even having like a irregular sleep schedule, like today you will be doing one thing, tomorrow another thing, so our body does not really have an associated time for sleep. Even when if somebody you're doing like shift work, that also is something that can come in the way of your sleep. Environment is all about where are you sleeping, like your bedroom, if you feel like the mattress is too firm, too loose, like uncomfortable bedding, pillow, all of that can come in the way. Temperature is really important, lighting as well. If there is some construction happening near your house, noise, all these factors make it difficult to sleep. Medications as well is something that's important, like medication like antidepressants or stimulants. They can really cause insomnia or can affect your sleep as a side effect. So again, I just want to highlight this, that it's a really good idea to consult with a medical professional to learn that if you're taking any medication or if you have any medical condition, is this contributing to my sleep problems? Yeah. Okay. So now that we have gone through some of these things that we are all dealing with, okay. So again, I want to zoom into why sleep is important. Yes, to kind of overcome everything that all of you have mentioned and what was there as well. But it's one major factor of sleep is that it helps us to recharge and recover. And that is very essential for us. It's not something very small or like, rest and recovering, recharge. It may sound like it's not that important, but look at what's happening to all of us, right? When we don't keep it a priority. So because it improves our cognition, our cognitive function, everything from paying attention to thinking to problem solving, to make a decision, like to remember, to learn something new, to get better at the skills that we've already learned, all of that. And yes, our physical health also really depends on sleep a lot. Like, it helps building our immunity. The body can actually, again, repair and generate itself while we are sleeping. And chronic sleep deprivation can cause physical problems also. Like there's a link there, like, towards obesity, diabetes, and even cardiovascular diseases, right? Creativity. And creativity is a huge contributor to problem solving. So again, like when we are sleeping is when our brain makes these new connections, more firmer. So another thing that for creative solutions, innovative thinking, even to be proactive, sometimes our sleep is very essential. And definitely mood, it really enhances our mood, sleeping better. Like we may be less irritable. We may understand our mood swings better. We don't let it control us, right? So it can help us to our overall mood. There's a slight improvement, and over constantly sleeping better, there is a huge improvement on mood, right? And yes, reduces risk of mental health disorders. Like if any of us are prone to anxiety and depression, or if we are going through something, when we're not sleeping well, it can really aggravate our mental health in that situation, right? Yeah. So going over to the next slide. So here's like a interesting fun fact. It takes about 10 to 20 minutes to fall asleep, sometimes even 25. And falling too quickly might be a sign of sleep deprivation. Sometimes I think you may have experienced that when you have had an exhausting day mentally or physically, and you just sleep immediately. You don't even remember when you fell asleep, right? And so I just want to check in with everybody. Like, is it something? Do you know how long it takes for you personally? To get on the days that you have slept well. How long do you think it took for you to, like, from that state of wakefulness to falling asleep? Any idea? Like, is that something that anybody would have paid attention to or anything like that? It'll be really interesting to know for everybody.
10 minutes at the max.
10 minutes at the max. Okay. Varies. Okay. 3 hours. Okay. Okay. 30 minutes generally. Okay. 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah. 2 to 3 hours. Okay. Varies with day schedule. Can imagine, definitely. Okay. First 10 minutes or 2+ hours. Okay. Great. Yes. So definitely, like, it's really interesting and also nice to see 1 hour. Nice to see that how we can really be different from each other, right? So sometimes there's no one fixed route for all this, and I think sometimes that can also cause us a little bit of anxiety. Like when I see somebody else sleeping so fast and somebody else takes time. So I think a reminder that like how we need to focus on what works for us. Like even if somebody has like a 1 hour time period before sleeping, or even 2 hours, but to check if how is your sleep, are you getting a good rest and waking up? So I think somewhere like we need to focus on that, like our journey, our sleep timing, and how we feel after that when we do wake up. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you so much for everybody's reply. It was really nice to see that. Go to the next slide. Okay. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so yes, finally we're here, like, looking at what can be done to kind of sleep better, right? So before we get in, I just wanted to really emphasize on something I've already mentioned in the coming slides about maintaining our expectations. So when we are trying to sleep better, we need to look at it like a practice. It's not like something that, okay, I'm going to do today or tomorrow, and if I don't see results, it's not working for me. It needs practice. So it would need you to be trying this for at least like 3 or 4 times a week and continuously. You're also training your brain here, and training, learning, etc. It does take some time and take some trial and error. It takes some learning. Like, you also will understand, okay, this is absolutely not working. This may work a bit, things like that. Okay, so I want us to be a little on the side of like, we're going to be experimenting and trying what are these different things that can work for me. Yeah. The second thing that I wanted to ask again here is like, again, what helps you to sleep? What puts you to sleep sometimes? Let me ask like that, because I know somebody like who reads, like the moment she finishes reading one page, she starts dozing off. Or some people have like a routine at night, like okay, I have a skincare routine, and then I go and I hit the bed. Some people meditate before they sleep. So anything, these are like a little more common ones, but it would be nice to hear. Watching videos. Okay. I think watching videos is something that I think is quite common. Okay, 4-7-8 breathing technique. Nice. Talking with my mom. Okay, a nice. It's I think a way to like unwind at the end of the day. Making my bed and room. Nice. Walking few steps. Okay. Listening to Arjit Singh songs. Yes, having a particular playlist or like some songs that we'd like to listen to is also very nice. Yeah. Anything else? Anything? Again, like, there's no right or wrong way to do this. Like, so it's just like, it just shows like how different people are and how interesting we are as we do different things. Okay. Listening to white noises. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Change in lifestyle factors. Okay. Okay. So what do I practice for sound sleep, right? Like, well, I'm also in that category of like, I would like to read something. And if it's really interesting, it does keep me up as well. If not, I fall asleep I at least doze off halfway in some way. Okay. Okay. All right, sure. This is great. So I think a lot of what I've heard also may come in some of the things that I'm going to be talking about in the next slide. So practicing sleep hygiene, right? Like how we have our own ways to maintain our hygiene, right? Like some can be very basic, like brushing, taking a bath, and even like we go for like some grooming practices, etc. So similarly, we also need to look at sleep in the same way. Okay, like some are very basic, or it's kind of like a given, right? Like one of the things being like, the first one is like avoiding stimulants, such as stimulants like in the form of beverages. It would be like coffee, coffee, tea, alcohol, smoking before bedtime. All of this, it's, even Red Bull, energy drinks, all of this, and a lot of like sugary stuff as well. So avoiding this, like I'm guilty of like coffee at 7 also, or like things like that that can really keep us alert, and even without any reason, right? So whoever can relate also can just, as we go through each of these, anybody who relates, you can put it in the chat box as well. Yeah, so this is like I said, it's a given, it's common sense that we need to avoid this slowly, like again, like we are unlearning or learning something new. Make it a habit that these are some things that you avoid after a certain time, or you can do it on nights that you don't, it doesn't matter, like a holiday or something. Yeah. Then maintaining the next one is maintaining a regular exercise routine. So here again, yes, let's start exercise very close to bedtime. That's something we know that doesn't work out well, and especially on those nights that you are really struggling with lack of sleep. Please do try to avoid it. Maybe sometimes you feel like, okay, I can't miss working out today, or I can't miss the gym today, and you go really late. But you also need to understand that the consequence of this is, what's going to happen is that it's going to add to your sleeplessness. So that is there. And so maintaining a regular time is great for exercise, or at least around like, okay, somewhere between maybe like 5 to 7 you would like to work out, something in between that, because regular exercise means regularly our body is going to be releasing endorphins. Endorphins are like a natural way that we can feel good. Now, constantly, little bit of endorphins, maybe on Monday, then on Wednesday, then on Thursday. So that is becoming now, like, we're trying to make it a routine where, consistently we are naturally boosting ourselves, right? So that can really contribute to us calming down in general, keeping us a little on the lighter side, all of this which can help our sleep, right? So this comes in the whole, like, lifestyle, good habit kind of category here. Okay. So the next one is also like, we're going to be talking about creating a routine. Okay, so here we are talking about habits. We're talking about ways that we are going to train our brain here. Okay, like now, so a routine, or like, just a minute, sorry, next. Yeah. So a routine in the sense, like, we will be saying that, okay, this much time before I sleep, what am I going to do? So something very generic could be like, I start changing the lights in the house, going from white light to yellow light, dimming the lights, setting up the space. In a way, I'm telling my body and brain, like, hey, we are going to slow down, we are going to unwind. So doing this consistently across many days, over a period of time, what we want to achieve is that by the time we are starting to dim the lights, maybe we put on like a particular song that we like, or we might, like, play a game or something, or like, have we get ready to like brush our teeth, have something to do there, like, and then what we do is, like, we are teaching our brain that when I'm doing XYZ things, it's going to get time to sleep. So we are kind of conditioning ourselves here. Yeah. So then the other thing is, like, yeah, making your bedroom a sleep sanctuary. So here also is like making your space as cozy as possible, and cozy for that's comforting. What do you find that's calming down, and eventually, put you to sleep, prepare you to sleep, actually, So you can be like, if you feel like you want to change the color of your walls, you want to replace your mattress, you want to get more pillows, you want to even get like an eye mask, earplugs, etc. Like, so making it more sleep friendly for you. And this can to keep you up. Yeah. Then the next one is about sleep restriction. Okay, so sleep restriction is quite interesting. Okay, like it's like what do we do when we are in bed and we're not able to sleep, and like we are thinking about a lot of things, and we're staring into the ceiling space, you toss and turn around, and we are also getting that's when we kind of pull out our phones sometimes, right? Like, okay, what are we going to think about, what are we going to do? And over time we're not very used to just sitting with ourselves like that, right? So sleep restriction is when you see yourself doing this and you're not sleeping, right? So what you do is get yourself out of bed and go do this somewhere else. So again, doing this over time is like, you are not making your bed a space for you to sit and worry, or a space for you to get bored. Your bed is only for sleep. So that's, you're conditioning yourself that way. Again, it takes time to train yourself. So be patient, and yeah, you can, and only when you feel that, okay, I'm really feeling very sleepy, I'm going to sleep, go back to your bed, and you can sleep. Yeah. Okay. So then the next thing is like, make it like, try to wake up at the same time every day. It is a lot more easier to wake up at a fixed time than trying to, okay, I have to sleep by 10 o'clock today, or I have to sleep by 11 o'clock today. Putting that condition, that is so much harder to achieve than, okay, I will wake up at so and so time. Yes, you may wake up feeling very groggy, unrested, etc. But here, what you're trying to do is like, you are just trying to fix one mark at least, instead of, going off the schedule. And this can also, like, we are looking at sleep stability here. So in a way, we are also working backwards. Okay, let's wake up at this time and let's see, how many hours behind can we sleep. Sometimes when we say I should sleep at 10, it can actually be too early for us. Okay, and again, if you're not used to sleeping very early, it can be very hard to achieve that. And again, like I said, the mantra that you have to tell yourself is the practice part. Consistently doing it is the change that can actually come up. Yeah. Okay, so we have seen some sleep hygiene practices. Apart from this, I have also heard from every one of you about these things. So next thing we are going to address is a little more psychological in nature, and that's going to be about like our what keeps us up at night, in the sense about our thoughts, our beliefs, what's going on in our minds, the dialogues that we hear. Yes, our stress and anxiety, it's no joke. Okay, like, and we feel stressed, we feel anxious, but a lot of times what kind of brings this feeling up is our thoughts. And what are our thoughts? Our thoughts is like our constant dialogue with ourselves, right? It's how we perceive the world. It is our beliefs. It's our fears, what makes us happy, what makes us like insecure. A lot of things it can be. So now the thing is that, especially when if somebody is going through a stressful situation, and you just like, I don't want to think about this. It is a lot of unpleasant thoughts, and you push them away. If there was a way that we could remove these thoughts, I think we would have already done it by now. But the nature of the mind is that even if we put them away from our attention, it is getting shelved somewhere else behind us. In the background, it is running. And sometimes through the day, we have priorities, we have distractions, and we are busy, right? But at night, there's nothing to stop us from all of these things coming out and trying. They're calling for our attention, actually. Yeah. And some of these thoughts can be repetitive. They're like going around and round, and they're not helpful also. So and on top of this, when the other one, actually, the one with the pink, this thing, spotting unhelpful beliefs, right? So on top of this, when we are having all these thoughts, we might panic and we are like, I don't want to think about this. I don't want to think about this. And then we are in this little conflict with ourselves, trying to push these thoughts. All of this keeps us awake because, it's quite like a energizing activity, right? So here is where like I would encourage to practice mindfulness meditation. We will be sharing like 1 or 2 tracks that you can see on YouTube, like what guided meditation is, and you can listen to that when you're trying to sleep. Even somebody had said about the breathing technique, right? So mindfulness, how it is going to help in this situation is that like I said, like these thoughts are not going to go away, and some of these thoughts, we would need to address them at some point, but at night it's not going to help you, right? So this mindfulness is kind of like, you can see the thought, but you are trying to not panic. You're trying to just be an observer of these thoughts, and over practice again, this can, so like you're not fighting these thoughts, but you're not letting these thoughts affect you as well. So and also you're learning to compartmentalize and say like, I need to address this, but I will address this tomorrow. Even something that can help is like somewhere in your day, in your waking hours of the day, to make a list of your worries or your anxieties, or what are these things about the future that's keeping you up? Like what is making you sad? Like it's not a fun activity at all, but it's rather you do it when you are more able than experiencing this in the form of anxiety in the middle of the night. So in this worry list, you could write about things that some things you do have some control of, like, okay, I can address this tomorrow or on the weekend, things like that. Some of our anxieties may not have an immediate solution, right? And some is a question of acceptance. Again, all these things don't come immediately. So this is also why like it really helps to talk to a professional, like a counselor, a support group, read up about these things, and even like sometimes talking about some of this with a good friend, because you're not keeping it all in your head alone. And sometimes once you share something, you get more clarity. You may also understand that you're not alone in this. Lot of things are there. So again, here seeking a professional is so that you are going to go behind the root cause of all these anxiety and thoughts, and this is sometimes the best way to deal with it. Yeah. Okay. And even like I would say like unhelpful beliefs and expectations is like when we are putting a little bit of stress on ourselves. That's also something that we should avoid. Okay, going to the next slide. Yeah, this is back here. Okay. I want to ask, like, how many of you have experienced this? Waking up with that sudden jolt, you have no explanation sometimes why, and I think sometimes people also have a dream where something happens and you just pulled out of it immediately with a sudden jerk. Okay. So I think this phenomenon is quite uncomfortable. Doesn't sound like it's like it's like a sudden jerk, right? Like you wake up and it's kind of like hiccups. So this is another reason why I think like knowing about some things is important, because then that kind of reduces the fear when you experience them. Yeah. Yes. Sajjan says he has experienced this.
Absolutely. Have these, very small seconds or 3 seconds, say falling off from the stairs, or the very minor things. And that what I notice is that really happens the moment you fall asleep, the moment we start sleeping, and then you wouldn't even realize, I'm already sleeping.
Right. Yeah. Well, like I think early into the deep sleep cycle, probably. Yeah. Okay. You felt like, you've fallen down from the bed. Okay. But is it something like you woke up and you realized that you actually had not fallen down from the bed, right? Yeah. Thank you. It's really nice sometimes to see that we have a shared human experience, right? Even in our struggles, actually. So that's something I think that humanizes our problem a bit. Yeah. Okay, great. So moving along, going to the next slide. We just a last bit here is like, a relaxed state of mind. Again, it makes a lot of sense, right? When we are agitated, irritable, panic, all of these are kind of energizing emotions that we go through, and we are not in a relaxed state. Even when we're having fun, like, we're not like on that calmer side of things. We're more activated. So here is also what we try to do is like how we kind of, the tactic that we are going to use here is like what is going to help us to feel less activated, less energized, because we need that for another time of the day, right? So here what we do is like practicing like self-compassion, where we can kind of like how are we talking to ourselves at night? How are we like are we being really tough on ourselves? Are we harassing ourselves sometimes, saying, why can't I sleep? Or like, you are fueling in the anxiety, saying, I have this to do, I have that to do. You look at the time several times, nothing has changed. So all of this is kind of like adding more and more fuel to our anxiety and our alert state of mind. So practicing self-compassion is like maybe how you would talk to a child, a really good friend, with some compassion. Compassion is like being kind and saying like, hey, you're struggling. Let's do this patiently. We'll at least learn some patience here. And things like that. So kind of like understanding again that this is a practice, it is a process, and working on it is going to make some changes. So just kind of, being nice to yourself there. And then practicing gratitude. So when you are trying to sleep at night, and again, like we said, like, either sometimes we are just like empty, we don't know what to think, and that's frustrating us, that's agitating us, we're bored, we're restless, or like we're thinking about 100 what ifs, and a lot of things. Okay, this could go wrong. We don't have answers to so many questions. Or like, something that like our habits is causing us to be awake. So maybe something that you can do is like, while you are trying, preparing yourself to sleep, you can also think of looking actively for something that you are grateful for. It may not come automatically or naturally. So this is where we're going to learn a new way of thinking, maybe, right? So now what I would not encourage and what I would be against is that like I don't want you to force yourself to be grateful. Now, again, that's putting pressure on yourself. That is like, again, scolding yourself and trying to be grateful for something that you don't feel grateful for at that time is not going to help anybody, right? So look out for something in the day that maybe one or even two things that you felt that gave you some relief. You appreciated it. You think it made you feel better. It made you smile. It can be, and the best things are these little small things, because when you think about it, 5 to 6 stressful small things in a day can really set your day off, right? And in the same way, these small things that's on the pleasant side and the positive side of the spectrum can kind of reduce your anxiety, or it can relax your state of mind a bit. So it can be even something small, like there was somebody who had said that that something, the whole workday was not going well, but something that a little bit that was pleasant to see was like it was somebody's birthday and there was a cake cutting. So there was they got to eat cake that day. It can be as small as that. But what I'm saying is like, so thinking and reflecting on this is also, it's a way to train your mind to change perspective, to shift perspective. Sometimes when our day goes like really bad, or like we are only looking for answers we don't have, we really get very biased and we miss all these things that has gone well. Maybe there's a colleague who got your back, and you felt good to be working with somebody like that, or even for some people it can be like, um, you had a really important meeting, and then for some reason that meeting, and suppose you were not prepared, or like you missed some information, but the meeting got postponed, but you're really grateful for that, right? And that's something you may not tell out loud. So these small things, to find them at night, it'll relax your mind a bit, and hopefully we are hoping that it will relax your mind a lot more, and it also helps you to not miss out on the good things that happened in that day. Yeah. And finally, it's like fix your relationship with sleep. When you are struggling with sleep, and you know how terrible the next day can go, not being alert, not being able to be very active the next day, not being being really cranky, all of that. So because you're experiencing all this, when you're approaching sleep time, you are really preoccupied with this. You are worried, you are thinking like, okay, how am I going to sleep today? Is the same thing going to happen? So we need to change that approach, because looking at sleep that way itself is like, okay, I'm stressed already now, right? So here also, like, I'm not going to ask you to stop thinking about how will I sleep, because like I said, trying to cut off thoughts is not possible. But what we do is like we try to change our attention. Like now you're going to think about, okay, what is my routine? What have I done here? Okay, or like I'm going to be making a playlist for sleep, and I'm going to listen to this, and that you're listening to the lyrics, or you're listening to like an instrument or things like that. So what we're doing is like, okay, I see this, I don't know if I'm going to sleep right now, okay, but I'm going to move that away and look at what else is around me. Like suppose like the lights are off, and it's calming me. So we are going to learn to take our attention away from, oh, I'm not able to sleep, to, okay, what am I doing right now? What am I doing to help me to sleep? Things like that. Like I'm listening to this white noise, and you're just focusing on that, and like a lullaby, you're hoping it kind of like makes you calmer and gets you to sleep. Yeah. Okay, so these are the main things that we have discussed with. And again, like reaching out for one-on-one personalized coaching helps a lot, because you are able to, it's like, you get a customized way through this, right? Like you can talk about, you can really talk about what are these thoughts that I'm seeing, that I'm hearing at night. Like, what is it about my future? Is it about my job? Is it about a relationship? Is it something that I'm not able to do this at work properly? And it helps to kind of we're streamlining this a bit. Yeah. Okay. So that's about it, and I hope that everybody can, all the best for everybody's sleep journey. And I would just say keep trying different things.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Divya. I believe that's a very, very interactive session, and it's the need of the hour, I would say, because I believe, see, most of the people, all of us are having one or two pointers that we really want to improve in terms of our sleep. And I personally learned a lot of tricks that we can do in order to, get good sleep. For example, even I am a teetotaler, so I'm definitely, I'll at least after this try to stop having post my evening snack or something. And the tips I feel everybody would have definitely made a note of. The most important topic that we've been discussing today. I hope everybody really liked it. And in case anyone wants some personal training or personal coaching, or if you want to talk about this in person, we're definitely open for it. Please do scan the QR code, or you can note down the phone number that is there on the screen. You can just put a message hello on that number. Our team will connect with you, and then we can schedule the consultation, so whatever required as per your thing accordingly. And thank you so much for joining in. Any questions anybody has, or anyone want to share something, their experience, are open for next 2-3 minutes or 5 minutes. Anyone has anything to share? We would definitely love to hear stories. Oh, I believe Nilesh Ravarma is having a question. What do you experience during sleep? Like, is it a dreamer sleep, or is it more about sleep or more dreams, or is it the Suryan? That is the fourth stage of consciousness.
Okay. So I'm not very well versed with Turiya, but then one thing that from my understanding and expertise is that we do have different stages of sleep, and we do dream at one stage of the sleep, like and that's sometimes we are aware of the dream state, and sometimes we are not. So yes, we do experience stages of sleep where we do not dream, and we also, because a lot our subconscious is running even if we sleep, right? Like our brain is still active, and that's when all the groundwork and the maintenance is happening, and that goes the same with whatever we have like pushed away, right? So that can come in the form of dreams. Yeah.
And I believe this also differs from time to time for person to person. And the same person might be having different levels depending on their other factors that we discussed.
Yeah. And these stages of sleep, right? Like it's not like, okay, I've completed the stage and I'm done for the day. They keep repeating. It goes on cyclic this thing. So a lot happens when we sleep. So how many hours of sleep is minimum required, right? Like that also differs from person to person. And this is also where I think you need to also like understand your body, observe also, like check like when is the time that I have felt most rested. Sometimes a lot of sleep can also give you like a very lethargic feeling. Sometimes 7 to 8 hours is also great. And it gets harder as you grow older sometimes to maintain this hours of sleep, especially like when you're above 60 and all that. So a lot of changes happens in our body. But I would say like check your particular personalized timing for sleep. Maintain a sleep journal or a sleep diary also, because it's really helpful. Like see maybe how many times you feel so and so hours help, etc. Maybe some days you are really tired and exhausted after like a stressful week at work or something. Like sometimes our body may need more than our usual hours of sleep. Yeah. Anything else?
Any other questions, or anyone else want to share something?
Yeah, Divya, this is Karthik.
Hi, Karthik.
Yeah, as you said, see, my sleeping timing is very less. If I feel, if I sleep more than 5 hours, no, that I feel very dozy.
Okay.
So that is a big thing. If I am sleeping more than 5 hours, I feel very dozy.
Okay. So how do you feel after like 4 hours of sleep?
I feel very good. If I am sleeping maximum 5 hours sleep, no, so the day will be good.
Okay, maximum 5 hours.
If I'm sleeping more than that, then I feel very dozy.
Okay. So it's yeah. So what you're saying is like 5 hours, it does not seem less for you, is it?
It does not. It is much more enough for me, I think so. But I need to have a good sleep. But my timings are very difficult. My sleeping time is, I'm saying that maximum 5 hours. So it may be 3 hours, it may be 4 hours.
Okay. So what you would like to do is like kind of like make sure it is 4 to 5 hours rather than less than that.
Yeah, I hope so. For the past 10 years, sorry, 1 second. Sorry. For the past 10 years, I used to sleep by 12 to 6 only. But now, for the past 4 to 5 years, it was totally reduced.
Okay. So one thing is like, I would suggest that like you can check ways that the quality of your sleep gets better. Like I was, some of these tips, like focus it on like a personal project for yourself, even like mindfulness, hearing something calming at night, etc. And also, maybe I would also ask you to personally reflect that what changed in the last 4 years for you, like what kind of led you to sleep lesser, and you can just, you'll get a lot of answers from reflecting on what changed.
Yeah, of course, not a funny marriage one.
If anybody can relate, they can put in the chat box. But
After marriage.
even life transitions, right? Like suppose like somebody is like a new
Absolutely.
parent. Yeah, a new parent, like pregnancy, marriage, new job, also new location. Like these may be like something that someone wanted and it's positive, but still it can cause a lot of changes. Like it can also be very stressful. Positive things can also stress people out. So yeah.
And now my worry is whether it is because the age is getting near 40. So at a particular age, I don't know how it will affect. What are the side effects it may be after 40? That is my worry on that.
Yeah. Definitely it's good to evaluate and check that out in multiple areas, right? Like mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Yeah, good. Anyhow, I'll try to make some practices on that, as you said.
Yes. Again, like because it's been a long time since you've been sleeping in a certain pattern, right? You need to learn something new to make a new pattern. So practice it really helps.
Yeah, fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karthik. Any other questions, or can we wind up the session?
Okay, yeah. How does oversleeping impact an individual, right? So I think I would say that it depends on why the person oversleeps. Again, like we were talking about how a lot of stress and anxiety can keep you awake, right? That is not like one hard and fast rule. For a lot of people also, like if you are going through something, you may sleep more. Again, like you there's a lot happening in your brain, and our self dialogue, our anxiety can really be exhausting. So sometimes people can oversleep also because of that. And yeah, like some people who are like very energetic through the day, a lot of things, and also like if there is something that you are going through at that time, and you're dealing with the problem, decision making, etc. Sometimes that can also cause you to like it's difficult for you to wake up or oversleep. Sometimes your body just needs it as well. Yeah, like, and impact can be very different. Some people can feel very energized after oversleeping. Some people feel lethargic, like what Karthik had shared. Like it doesn't help them, right? So there's different ways. Some people after oversleeping cannot be very alert. Some people amazing concentration, etc. So yeah.
I definitely can relate to this question, because we generally see, right, people would fancy oversleeping on weekends or on holidays and all, because we've been getting up early on weekdays or at work. So if at all I try doing that oversleeping, maybe even I want to sleep till 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock just because everybody else is doing, I can see that difference. I would, instead of being very energetic, just like how Karthik said, I would become the opposite. It's like I'm stuck with hangover or something. I rather prefer, it's fine if I'm getting up at the same time, 6:30, that I generally do on weekdays. The same would, be continuing for me in the weekends also. I'm really happy. I feel, maybe my body is not really accepting that.
Yeah. That's interesting. Thank you so much.
Right. If we don't have any other questions, we can definitely wind up the session now. I request everybody to take a screenshot of the screen so that you will have that phone number and the QR code. The QR code also lands you on the same WhatsApp number. And we would see you very soon with one more interesting topic to discuss.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Divya.